Hi, welcome everyone to another Escapement Show. It's Saturday the 30th of July, and yeah, I haven't been up that long, but others around the world may be getting ready to go to bed, but yeah, I only just made it. So it was a long night last night. Yeah, so how are you all
Big
doing,
night.
everyone? Good to see
You had a big night last night, Thomas. You're on the sauce, mate.
no. I jumped on Bobby Leg's chat for a while, and so it was a late night for me. Um, but I was
Cool, man.
up
Cool.
writing some stuff for this last night as well. Good to see BA in the chat, and Jamie and Em. Good to see you. Hope we get a
Yeah,
few.
good afternoon, everyone, and good afternoon to Thomas and JCB. And really feel, proud and privileged to get the opportunity to discuss the next set of, as Jamie Opulence put it, the Grail chasers.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, looking forward to your selections there, Uncle Jonga and Thomas. Should be a big show. Action packed.
Absolutely.
Action packed.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've had a few releases since the last show, haven't we? And
Yeah.
so
There was a few.
we had the IWC Type 20 come
Yeah.
to me. I saw ID guy's video on that, and he really liked that. He really liked the new
Yeah. Was
the
it a
new
Mark 18 or 20 or something?
Mark 20. Mark 20.
Mark 20, that's right.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
do you guys think of that? We should try and pull it up. Hang on, let me have a look if I can get it here. Mark 20, IWC. Here we go. Pull it up. Hang on a sec.
Yeah, it was. He's got a new in-house movement, and I think it's got a date at 6 o'clock. I'm not sure, but
It's
ID guy's video on that, and he really liked that. He really liked the improvements. I'm a big fan of the Mark 15, to be honest with you, the older one with the stubby hands, the stubby hour hand. I know that 73 Math's got one of those.
yeah, I think they've slimmed down the case a little bit. What else? I think the movement's like a 10-day power reserve or something crazy like that.
Yeah,
Um,
120 hours, 120 hours power.
yeah, there we go. Yeah,
Yeah,
120 hours. How many? Someone do the math. I don't know. What's that? 8 days or something. 10.8 diameter, so nice and slim. Really like the dial on this watch. Look at that sun grain, the sunburst. IWC does a good sunburst blue dial. I've got to give them that.
yeah,
I'm not a big fan of this style of watch personally. This sort of Flieger style. Obviously, a lot of people are fans of this sort of style of watch. It's not my bag, it's not my cuppa. Just sort of on the boring side, really. But I can see why people would like it as a all-rounder, everyday sort of piece. I think it would fit that. I mean, you could wear that anywhere, really. You could even wear that with a suit. You could
oh
wear
yeah,
that with jeans and t-shirt. That would
yeah,
fit you could wear that pretty much everywhere
yeah.
you want. So it's a very versatile piece. I get that. So I think it's in that. Having said that, it seems pretty cool. Not bad.
Very, very clean, very legible. I like the slimness of the case and the proportions, but I think for a font perspective, it's not quite, ringing all the bells and whistles for me. But I think the blue dial, the blue's done really well.
Yeah, that's US. No, the new model, blah blah blah. 750 more than the Mark. What's that? 18. at 5250. That's US. So you might get a bit of a discount of that. Which, yeah, look, I mean, for what it is, it's pretty fucking expensive.
What sort of discounts do IWC tend to dish out?
Yeah, good question. I'm not sure. I don't know much about IWC. I've never bought one. I've never even been into a boutique before, so couldn't tell you, man. I'll have to ask one of the punters might know. Drop it in the comments if you know. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Not if I was getting an IWC, I would probably be looking at the big Pilot 43. I would sort of get that one, but it's a good size, 40 mil. A lot of people would actually 40 mil and 10.8. That's some good dimensions for an everyday watch. Actually, it's actually not bad. Actually, not bad at all. Yeah. All right, so that was that one. Let's talk about this guy here, man. This is the G-Shock.
Full metal.
I never thought I would ever say this, but I've actually got excited about a G-Shock release. So there you go. This is the full metal Casio. So they've taken, you know how we love modding our Casios and putting them into a metal case. They've actually made the metal case for the Casio GA 2100 sort of style watch. So there you go. This one I see it says it's solar and Bluetooth, so that's pretty cool. Good upgrade over the GA 2100, which doesn't have either of those things. Yeah, pretty cool watch. I think this is people are gonna go nuts over this watch. This is just gonna go flying out of the shops, I reckon.
And they're really sort of pushing the whole octagon bezel as well, aren't they? The sort of shape.
The Casio,
yeah. The Casio, that's it.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Christopher Ward brought out some Sealander C63 watches in the classic colours that everyone's doing at the moment. Which we know as the Rolex OP colours.
Okay.
They're sort of jumping on that, and why not cash in? You know, if it's the fashion of the moment. Get into the colours. I mean, Oris have done it.
So speaking of colours, look at this guy here.
Yeah, the Carrera red. Yeah.
Boom! Look at that.
Yeah, that was a nice one.
Cool watch.
I had to get away from blue watches and green watches and see that sort of cognac crimson sort of colour. Wow.
This is a render, but there's some live photos I saw like on Instagram and stuff. Oh, man, it looks insane, this watch. It's really cool.
Do you think that could be the new colour? The new colour
red
trend, yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe. I thought purple would have become a bit more of a trend.
Really, purple?
Oh no, I thought there was something that was released in purple. They released a Monaco in purple like 3 weeks ago or whatever it was. And now we've got the red one. I remember, like a couple of a year or two ago when green was the big thing. Like green just became the thing.
Yeah.
And I remember a lot of people saying, "Oh man, they should bring out purple. Purple will be the next thing after that." And then they brought the Monaco out, and I thought, "Oh, here we go. It's going to start." But we'll have to wait and see, I guess. I mean, red's a cool color, but generally tends to be a feminine color if you think about it. Like overall, red, like it's sort of more suited to ladies' watches, where I think purple could be a bit more unisex. You could go men, female. You could go anywhere with purple.
They'll say that to Kevin O'Leary in his red straps.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not. I like red, but I'm just like most guys would probably just look at this watch and go, "Oh, it's really cool," but they probably wouldn't buy it and put down the money for it. I
Yeah.
think.
I think red is, it's quite a. It could almost be a Marmite colour, but depending on where you fall on the side of the fence, which kind of red you like. I mean, red can be very garish,
Yeah.
or it can be very rich. And I think sometimes you've got a very bright red watch. How would that take the mood on on a daily basis if you were going to wear it? A bit like with the coral red on the OPs. This is a more sort of subdued sort of red in the pictures, at least, anyway.
Yeah.
Going back to the
Yeah.
colours that I was mentioning about the Christopher Ward and the Orises. I mean, Omega did their range of colours, didn't they? And their red was very
Yeah.
like their red Aquaterra was very like the red on that Carrera that you just brought up there.
Mm.
Very deep red.
It's like a cherry red, isn't it? It's almost like a cherry.
Yeah, not like the coral red that Rolex did, but very,
Yeah.
very deep red. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
What do you guys think of this guy here? This was the El Primero
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
Hodinkee limited edition. I thought this was a really cool watch.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
Oh, man,
Lovely
that is
pastel
dope.
style, isn't it? Lovely.
Man,
Yeah.
Hodinkee, they know how to do a limited edition. I'll give them that.
Yes. Lovely.
The
Really.
thing about the A386, the case and the bracelet, when you see it in the metal, and you can pick it up here in this photo, like see how nice and slim and ergonomic it looks. Like it just really looks like it's designed very, very nicely. I saw one the other day in a window, and it just jumped out at me. This sort of case, the case, the angles and the way the case and bracelet work together, really, really nice. Like Zenith, they know how to design a case. I've got to give them that. They just do a really good job with the case design.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the A384 and A385 tonneau cases myself. But you're right, the A386 is a slender case.
Yeah, really nice watch.
So the retail on that is 9,500 USD, but getting one, no chance.
Yeah.
Not being a Hodinkee limited edition. How many were made? Do you know, JCB?
300, I think it was the number.
Right. Yeah.
All sold out, in a matter of minutes or whatever.
Easy to see why.
Yeah, I mean, just a great watch. I'm not a huge salmon dial guy, but this one sort of works pretty well. What else? I thought was the main stuff that jumped out at me this week. I think it was really those guys. I'm sure there was some other stuff, but that was the main stuff that I saw this week. What was that Christopher Ward? Do you want to pull up, Thomas? What was it? The C60?
The Sealander C63. The coloured dials. I don't know whether they'll come up. So the new coloured dials they brought out. I'm not sure what they're calling them. I can just check.
Yeah, have a look at their website. Maybe. For
There's a worn and wound article on them.
so we got here. No, they don't have them. Not on the website. Wrong watermelon. April. Oh, here we go. Another bloody teal.
Yeah.
What do we call this? What do we call this color? Not that. I don't want to say Tiffany.
Turquoise.
Turquoise. That's right.
Tiffany blue is what they're after, isn't it? That's what they're going for.
I mean, if it wasn't for the color, I mean, it's a pretty boring looking watch overall. If you think about it, I mean, it's not really very inspiring. Pretty bloody boring, if you ask me. Just the color is what makes it interesting. No, I don't know.
As I say, they're just following the bandwagon of the Omegas and the Rolexes and the Orises.
Yeah.
But why not cash in? Why not? I mean, if it's a fashion of the moment, I mean,
Yep.
And Zodiac bought out. This caught my eye as well. They bought out a new Super Seawolf compression automatic, but the actual dial configuration is just crazy.
What was that? So there's a new Seawolf, a new Super Seawolf.
The Zodiac Seawolf, Super Seawolf compression automatic. In stainless steel. A combination of like white and blue. So where your images are, it's that second one.
That one.
Yeah, classic Zodiac Super Seawolf colours, aren't they?
Mm.
I love their bright colours.
Oh, yeah.
Not for everyone.
I like these watches.
I do.
I reckon they're cool, man. Yeah.
I do. I think they're great.
Price point, you can't argue with that.
Yeah. This one here in titanium, that green, that's killer. Yeah, nice. Very nice. All right. Do you guys want to jump into your Grail discussion, or what do you guys want to do?
Hi, Y2K. How are you doing?
Y2K.
Good timing. How are you doing?
How are you, mate?
Can you hear us?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, me now.
Okay. I'm testing a new microphone, so is there anything that sounds weird or vehicles and whatever, just excuse it.
Testing out.
Yeah.
Good.
Yes. Please go on. Please go on. Good to see all of you guys.
So we'll kick off. Should I go first, or do you want to go first, Stronger?
I honestly
Rock,
don't
paper,
mind.
scissors.
I honestly don't mind. Whoever, whatever you want to do. Let's
Right. I'll go first then.
Okay.
Thomas, did you shave?
Yeah, I went and got a shave. Got full.
Wow. Really clean.
Full
You
head
look like a
shave.
different man.
Full
Sorry
head-
to interrupt you, but it's like really crisp. It's like baby smooth skin. Well done. Well done. All right,
Yeah,
Thomas, go on. I don't want to interrupt you.
We'll start. This is going to be my beta watch. So this will be my everyday wear. And if you're a purist, you'd go for the gear shade dial. You'd go for the engine turn, not gear shade. You'd go for the engine turn dial if you're a Breguet purist. But I mean, you could go for the silver dial, or you could go for the gold. You could go for the yellow gold or the white gold in the engine turn dial. And a Breguet purist would go for engine turning, because that's what Breguet masters. You know, they're kings of the engine turning. But I'm gonna go for the Grand Faux enamel.
Enamel, yeah, nice.
White rose gold case. This is the Breguet Classique 7147. Comes in at £18,700. 40 millimeters, 18 karat white gold case, welded Breguet lugs with screw bars, 300 meter water resistance, Grand Faux enamel, with the dial signed Breguet with the secret signature, the Arabic Breguet numerals, open tip blue Breguet hands, small recess seconds at 5 o'clock, 48-hour power reserve, and there's a quick little video on it here, which just shows the beauty of it. It's just a gorgeous watch. It's really is. There's the signature there, just in the
Okay.
secret.
The seconds is in a funny spot, isn't it?
Yeah, it's at 5 o'clock. So half
It's
past 5.
it's 5:30. It's in a
Yeah.
funny. It's weird. It's not.
It's an automatic watch. It's not hand wound, so it's an automatic watch. So it could be an everyday sort of wearer. So it's I mean, I really like this watch. It's just a lovely
Heads off
watch.
to Breguet for this because when we look at the indentation of the seconds, it seems to be really. Have you seen sand? Yes, sand. So in a way, this is like really nicely fitting into the sand thing. Of course, the weird thing that people would probably first identify is that the seconds hand is not usually at how should I say? If we cut the watch face into four pieces, yes. So normally we always assume it's at 12, 3, 6, or 9, but this is just slightly a bit too in between 5 and 6. So I think it's something that people, to me, it's a very small benign issue. It's not really even an issue. The word issue is not actually correct to be used, but it's actually very inconspicuous. This is a simple watch, very simple watch with the numerals itself that's very classic. And the thing about, I think, because I never really owned a Breguet, but I must say that this is really another dressy piece, simple numbers. Yeah.
That's what attracts me to the watch, these small seconds. And I mean, coming in at £18,700, if someone drops a load of money in my lap to buy Grails, or I won the lottery, this would be the cheapest watch that I'd buy. This would be a daily wearer, and the others would be toys that I would just ogle over and wear occasionally. This would get the most wear, I think.
What mill is this, Thomas?
This is about 40 mil. 40 mil. This one, and it's let me check. 6.10 mil thick.
Wow.
So it's quite a thin watch.
Yeah, it is.
How many millimeters is it?
6.10 or 6.1? You mean?
6.1 mil thick. Yeah, 6.1 mil thick. 6.1 mil thick. So it's a thin watch.
Yeah, it's nice, man. I like it.
Thomas, how many millimeters is it?
6.1 millimeters thick and 40 millimeters across diameter.
Ah, okay.
I quite like the. I thought it would be, it would sort of throw me with the indentation at the second started, but when you look at it as a whole, I don't get distracted.
Yeah, I think the seconds placement where it is, it's a quirk. Like it's a cool quirk. You know what I mean? It's not.
Definitely.
It's off. It's in a funny spot, but it's not. But it's like cool. It's cool because it's in a funny spot. If that makes sense. That's what I mean. It's quirky. It's got this sort of quirk that it's not dead bang in the middle. It's not at. Sometimes you see them at about 7:30. here it's in a funny spot, which I like. I think it adds a character to the watch.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, so this is my favorite brand of the moment, Breguet. I absolutely love them. And these are the watches I love them for, these classiques.
Mhm.
They're just gorgeous.
How much are we looking in terms of expenditure for this piece?
£18,700.
18,000. Okay, it's a bit of a heft. What's in terms of the movement?
This is nothing Y2K. This is the cheapest watch I've got on the list.
Oh wow. Okay, so I think what I'm really going to be beating myself over would be about the pricing. £18,000. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, this is a bit pricey. Yeah. Then I would think
you ain't seen nothing yet.
Don't burn the wallets yet.
A lot of that money would be going into the dial too. This is grand foil enamel. You know that shit's not easy to do. It's pretty hard actually, and you get a lot of breakage. You get a lot of wastage in the manufacture of these dials. That it takes quite a lot of technical prowess and man hours to produce these dials. So I think you sort of not a lot, but a certain chunk of that money would be going into this dial. So you've got to be really into the grand foil enamel dial, I think, to want to put that money down into this piece.
Just say hi to a few more. Certi Danny, Dodger, the main man. Good to see you.
Hi, Danny. Hi, Dodger.
Danny boy, Dodger, Jamie Opulence.
Yeah, Jamie. Sorry, I missed you, Jamie. Great to see you.
Hi, Jamie.
And BA. Welcome.
BA, the man.
Thomas, could you just expand on the technical specs, please? I'd like to see the tech specs for this piece. Just curious about the technical specs about this piece.
The technical specs, right? I'll go back.
Yeah.
The technical specs. So it's a self-winding 45 hours power reserve using a caliber 502.3 SD. It's 35 joules. It's a frequency of 3 hertz. Breguet balance wheel. Inverted straight line lever escapement. Silicon balance spring. Oscillating weight 22 karat gold. Metals white gold. Sapphire case back. 40 millimeters, 6.1 thick, water resistant to 30 meters.
Oh, well, I think I'm beginning to understand why this watch is costing quite that amount already, because of the materials it's used, especially the white gold. The big hint is really the white gold that gave it away, that the pricing is worth that much. So that means at the same time, I believe, with the transparent case back and the movement, that means you get to see a lot of things happening behind as well. But I think the real deal here is because of the white gold. That's why, hence the £18,000 price tag. But I would say that, as I would say, like the sizing on this is actually quite good, simple enough. So for me, the pricing is on a higher. It's really on the go or no go situation already. Yeah.
Yeah.
Overall, it's a pretty piece, Thomas. I can see why you like this kind of piece. Yeah, it's the simplicity of it. Yes.
Just a simple, straightforward, simple, clean cut.
When you talk about the expense, Y2K, this is a watch that there is more to it than meets the eye. It's all the stuff underneath and the materials being used.
Okay. Yeah, I think there is a point where especially for those, even I would say I admit for myself that have seen Breguets, but haven't actually really held one. So I think it is considerable that I need to observe and give this watch more research into the particular pieces itself, the Breguets actually, yeah. But
Yeah,
for those of you,
if you try one on, it's just a lovely watch. It's just
now the side profile is a bit on the thinner side, yes. The side profile when you're looking at it, okay, yeah. So this is more of a piece that's actually more dressy, low profile, but actually I think the photo here may not do it justice. So I need to see one in real life to see how the white gold actually, because white gold and stainless steel sometimes in digital photos can look quite similar. Sometimes like the chrome steel can actually be a bit deceptive. So I think to really see this is really beautiful, you gotta really look at it in person. Yeah.
So I mean, as I say, Breguet is my favorite brand of the moment, and you'll see this transitioning to my next piece, which is gonna please Jamie Opulent. So just say hi to Alexandra's Foti. Good to see you, Alex.
Welcome, Alex. Welcome, Alex.
So yeah, my next piece, you'll see a lot of similarities in the one you've just seen, but Patek is king, according to and this is the Patek Philippe 5539G minute repeater, and everyone took the Zeitwerk last week and the week before. You all took the Zeitwerk, so I was going to take the Zeitwerk minute repeater, but this one's another step up. £400,000, released in 2013 at Basel World. This is 18 karat white gold, 37 millimeters, a minute repeater tourbillon, this one, with a black grand flow enamel dial, Arabic Breguet numerals in white gold, 2 hammers and 2 gongs for each minute for the minute repeater, inspired by the Patek 3939, which was released in 1992, and replacing the 5339. The case is dust and humidity resistant, but not water resistant, in order to achieve the best sound for the minute repeater, since sealing the case dampens the chimes. So, yeah, this is a absolutely beautiful piece, and I really like it. I'll just share another screen, a slightly larger version of it, and there's a little video where there's someone chiming the chimes. So there it is, £400,000. I don't know whether you can hear this.
No, Thomas. No sound, but it's okay.
No sound? Oh.
No sound. It's okay, Thomas. No worries.
Oh, well. Oh, shame about that. But yeah, you get to see the inner workings of it. It's beautiful. Beautiful, as you can see there. Alex will appreciate this.
Gotta give. Sorry to interrupt you, Thomas. Gotta give the Patek the credit, especially looking at the back plate and the movement. It's really it's amazing how they've actually incorporated the Patek logo in one of the rotors. Yeah. Right there. There we go.
Yeah.
That is really, really intricate. And I think I saw the price tag. It's 396,000 Swiss francs. Yes.
Yeah.
With the gongs and the bongs, and I think it's really, the price. It's a Patek. What more can I say really? When the brand Patek is dropped, at that point, the price point is like, yep, it's a Patek. The gongs and the bongs, really, that ding ding dong dong, and the fact that this is not really I think the water resistance is negligible, but this is more of a proper watch piece that's close to almost what we could say the non-sporty, like kind of like getting wet kind of watch, you know. So that means I would say more like almost like an ornament, like an ornamental
Absolutely.
watch.
Yeah.
An ornamental watch.
Yeah. I mean, it's just mind-blowing. It's only 37 millimeters, so it's quite a small watch. It's a typical Patek size, you know, that small dress watch size. So it's but you can see it's got those Breguet numerals as well, which I love.
Yeah.
Classic Breguet styling.
Who doesn't love Breguet numerals, really?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, stunning piece, mate. Very nice.
So that would be one of my expensive spends. And the next one right, this one's a great one. Really like this. I'd go for, if I got a lot of money to buy watches, I'd go for fun watches, and I'd go for historical type pieces, you know, Breguet and Ludwig Baldiwer and things like that. Ferdinand Berthoud. And but this would be one of my fun watches. And this is the Ludwig Baldiwer upside down. And this one, Ludwig Baldiwer, following many successful years as a watchmaker, Ludwig Baldiwer, his greatest dream was always to create his own watches, and his head was filled with eccentric complications. He started at the after-sales service department at Frank Muller, worked there for 7 years, and with F.B. Jean afterwards, and was responsible for assembling the complicated Sonnery Souverain. His reputation as a highly talented watchmaker was rewarded as Harry Winston entrusted him with the development of the Opus 13, which he made and showed at Baselworld 2013. And for the upside down and the halftime, which is another watch that he makes, Ludwig Baldiwer focused on a method so that the back of his timepieces displayed the aspects of the movement to the naked eye. And you can see that no, we'll miss that. You can see the back of his pieces has this Maltese cross sort of complications, where you can see the Maltese cross mechanisms here to control the upside down components. Now, all the numbers are upside down, but this regulator hand, you see the regulator hand?
Yeah. Well, do they move around? Do they turn? Does it turn them around? The hands.
When it turns around, yeah. The regulator. Well, I'll just go back. Yeah, when the regulator hand moves round and passes the hour, there like that.
It tells you. It tells you what hour you're in. Is that
yeah,
right?
the numbers turn upside down. So.
So it's like 1 o'clock. So it's 10 past. Is it
10 past 1 here now?
10 past 1. Yeah. Fuck, that's cool, man.
So all the other numbers are upside down, but it tells the hour by the number that's the right way around.
What a cool piece! That's so cool.
So it's a regulator watch, and I'd love a regulator. I'd just absolutely love to get a regulator. So this one's 41 millimeters. It's 11 millimeters thick, 30 meters water resistant. It's a platinum case with a crown at 230. an in-house caliber B01, which is it's not the Breitling one, but it's the Ludwig Baldiwer movement, with patented upside-down complication developed by himself, which uses crosses of Malta to control the rotation mechanisms, like I explained. 228 components, 36 hours power reserve, and this is 82,000 Swiss francs. So this is a really fun watch, and a regulator as well. So it ticks 2 boxes for me. I'd love a regulator, and it's just such a fun watch, the way it tells the time. Yeah,
This is a great bargain, Thomas. It's a real great bargain.
I think I'd go for the blue one though, because the regulator hand is more easily defined. But that movement, I mean, just look at it. It's the way he's designed the movement, and the way that the Maltese crosses turn the numbers upside down and right way around. You can see each number has a Maltese cross there. Quite fascinating, really, but you wouldn't be looking at the back, you'd be looking at that, and that's just fun. Great fun. Love it.
Challenges the conventions of normal watchmaking, because we've always thought that numbers would be still. You know, we've always assumed that the numerals would be still, no movement. But I would really say the price, when I heard 82,000, I was like, with this much amount of things happening, and if you buy a watch and you don't even realize that the upside down numbers is happening. And I think people who have never bought a watch like this, and then the first time they buy it, the first thing they'll do is they look at the watch for the first, maybe they put it on, then they're like, oh, what's happening? Why is the numbers upside down? Then they realize, oh, wait, the brand name is still in the right way up. It's just that the numbers play around with the user, you know. And I would say $82,000 for this amount of creativity. This watch is really about creativity, really. It's not just about
absolutely.
It's about creativity. And I really say $82,000 for such a piece, it's a good bargain. I mean, in my books, as a consumer who quite enjoys aesthetics and creativity, I do find that this is really wonderful that they take the time to do this. Yeah,
absolutely. So again, as I said, I'd go with historical pieces and fun pieces, and this is definitely one of the fun pieces. Yeah, so move on. And to another fun piece. Now, again, you took the you and Abdul took the Urwerk, which was my jump hour choice. But there's always another one, and we go to the Bethune DB28 Digital for $105,000. This is a 45mm polished titanium case with articulated floating lugs. It's hand finished barleycorn guilloche dial with a blued steel and palladium moon phase in the middle.
Yeah.
Star-studded sky, moon, and minutes. Jump hour between the moon phase and the 12 o'clock position. On the semicircular minute readout from 3 to 9 o'clock. A spherical moon phase, which is so accurate it will not require adjustment for 1,112 years. Twin barrels, retrograde minute counter, silicon balance wheel, and it's just beautiful. Yeah,
They really make works of art, don't they, these guys?
They really do.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
crazy.
mean, look at the back and
Looks like a Star Trek comm badge.
yeah, that's the movement. Yeah, it's Bethune are known for their Star Trek looking badges, but you see that the twin barrels and retrograde minute counter and the silicon balance wheel.
Now, Thomas, could you run us through very simply for this the Bethune piece? How would one read time? Is the big numeral that we see the
You've
hour?
got a jump hour. You got a jump hour date. Jump hour there between 12 o'clock and the spherical moon phase, and then you've got a minute track which rotates. So the minute track rotates.
Okay.
And you've got a pointer at the top here at 12 o'clock, which points to the minute track. So the minute track rotates round. And then you get to see the time there. You see this pointer here pointing at the minute track?
So it's a 56.
Yeah, it's a 56, 56 at the moment.
Okay.
So it's a pretty unconventional way of telling the time, but again, it's a fun watch. That's what I'd be spending my money on if I had this kind of money.
That's
Fun
cool,
watch.
man.
Yeah.
When did this come out?
2015 or something. I had a little video I was gonna show, which was just to show the lugs. So it shows the way that the lugs move. So it's really hard to polish titanium to such a high polish, apparently.
It's this the case is titanium, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm assuming the chrome bits are all titanium.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's got these articulated lugs. They call them floating lugs, where you're showing them there.
And the crown, okay, this crown is actually at 12 o'clock. It almost
Yeah.
looks like a pocket watch in it. Because we've always, well, is it a pocket? Like those classic pocket watches, the retro ones, or the ones that you click at the top, the clicker kind of watches at the top. Yeah, the switches at 12.
Didn't Watchbox buy up all the Bethunes?
Yeah, they got into the Debatunes, didn't they? They did the FB Jean thing first, and then now they're into Debatunes. But it's just such a fun watch. I mean, I just really like it.
Thomas,
They should have made the moon phase a bit bigger. It's too small.
Yeah, spherical moon phase. I mean, it's big enough, I think. It rotates spherically, so it actually rotates rather than having a pointer on it. It actually rotates itself.
Yeah.
3D object rather than a 2D object. Yeah.
Thomas, does this watch have a loom?
I'm not too sure. I couldn't tell you about that Y2K. I'm not too sure whether it's got loom or not. But
because if it has loom, and I would like that blue strip at the 180 degrees at the top. Okay, the top facing 180 degrees. I would really love if it could light up, and at night if you're in the dark, the blue portion up there lights up. Does that blue portion turn over when it gets to the daytime too? Like, do we get like a white sky, or is it just permanently all blue all the time? Do you know this one, Thomas?
What, the moon phase are you talking about?
No, there's this 180 degree.
No, that I think that changes. That just stays blue. It's just
okay.
Yeah.
Understood.
So yeah, that would be my another one of my picks, coming in at $105,000.
$105,000? Yes.
Yeah.
With that titanium case, I'm getting a feeling that with the material titanium, then the case is slightly on the thicker side. So they were smart to use a titanium case, because that would make the watch not that heavier than using like like gold or something like this. So titanium's supposedly supposed to be much lighter. So I think with that in mind, they definitely wanted the watch to be lighter, and not because it's really quite thick in the case.
Yeah.
Oh, and just to say hello to Lux Support, who just jumped into our chats. Welcome, Lux Support.
Yeah, hi Lux Support, good to see you. So, move on. More. So, another fun watch. Now, I didn't know whether to go. I like the old version, and this was one, the Audemars Piguet Star Wheel. This was one I was thinking of. Now, this is the granddaddy of Wandering Hours watches, developed in 1991. I mean, we've had Urwerk have copied it, the mechanism, Gorilla with their Outland Drift, and Arnold and Son have done watch with that mechanism. And I thought about this one, but as I mentioned, Urwerk have copied their design, and that's what I'd be going for. So I'd be going for this, the Urwerk UR1001 Titan. Now this is $400,000, and this is an absolute work of art. This is huge, absolutely huge.
Oh, whoa.
It's a monoblock case, one piece of solid metal, seconds, minutes, hours, day-night indicator, date with month and years. The top wheel does the date, so the bottom wheel does the time. We've got a power reserve on the top right. A day-night indicator on the left. You've got the date at the top left, the date wheel. And it's on the back.
Brand Uber complication.
Yeah. This is
not just a brand complication.
Shows you all the different. On the back, we have 1,000-year indicator. So this is an annual calendar that counts up to 1,000 years. On the back here, you got 1,000-year indicator. So you got 100-year indicator at the top here, and then 1,000-year indicator. So 100-year indicator there, and 1,000-year indicator, like I showed earlier.
You should call this a Millennium Watch. 1,000 years, wow. Let's call this almost like the Millennium Watch already.
This can run for 1,000 years. Apparently, they're making it to run for 1,000 years. So using a calibrate 10.01, 39 hours power reserve using an automatic movement, and you can see it there running. That's telling the time there. So it's got the wandering hours mechanism where the hours on the pointer flip over and the pointer points to the minutes. See the calendar at the top there with the months on. But there's some, this is just so big that I'll show you some other.
It's my kind of watch, really, Thomas.
It's huge. Wait until you see this. So these are some pictures. Look at the strap it comes on. It's got two straps. Two straps to wear. Look at the size of it on his wrist.
It's like a full shield. Okay, I'm sorry, but as a chunky monkey lover, I would definitely. Okay, but truth be told, Urwerk is actually very. Urwerk is one of the brands, I must say, that actually is very tenacious to do. They're one of the few brands that actually do this kind of design with a lot of complications, with the busyness of the dial, and generating even watches to this bombastic. They always were bombastic, and a gargantuan state of how a watch should be, and they really pushed the envelope. I mean, we look at brands like MB&F, and all this other. This brand Urwerk is really pushing the boundaries of where it would say the watch would be. As you can see from this piece, the Titan 1001 piece, even they have a frame that allows this silver thing to go in there like a ship being docked, in a harbor.
Yeah, well,
and it clicks lock. Yeah.
Well, this is it. This is it. Y2K. It's actually a pocket watch.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So I'll just change the screen again, and
Guys, I'll be right back.
yeah,
no
you
problem.
can take it out of that holster that you put it on to put it on the wrist, and attach it to a chain, and have it as a pocket watch. Excuse me. And that's again, I would be buying watches for fun and for history, and this would be one of the fun watches. This would be, I mean, look at it. I mean, it's total horological fun. This, it's a piece that you could take out. It's big enough to ogle at and have fun and really play with, and just admire, and just you can almost, it's almost like you could put it by your bedside like a clock.
Does it come with a stand to allow you to put in like a bedside clock?
No, it just comes with that holster that you have. Just comes with that holster that you have.
I would say that the holster that you mentioned, Thomas, is interesting because you can let you put it on your neck like a necklace and pull it off like a dog tag already.
It's a bit too heavy to put. You could wear it like Flavor Flav from Public Enemy. Yeah, you could wear it around your neck.
Definitely. But I think to get the real gist of it, if the phrase, if you have it, flaunt it, really, this watch you can pull it off as a wristwatch, and if you wear a short sleeve shirt, or a wife beater, and you're wearing this, it's unimaginable. People would not even know what it is. It would definitely grab a lot of attention. I'm assuming the diameters, we're looking at about 4, maybe 5 centimeters. 4 to 5 centimeters at least.
I don't know the actual sizing on this. It's massive. It's huge. Just look at it.
I will give and take 3 inches. 3 inches across the length, and probably about 2 inches by breadth. Yeah. I'll probably give it those margins. But this is really it's really the essence of Urwerk as a brand. The whole ideology and the way that they do their designs of the timepieces, down to the very way that they design. I would like to use this term gears, okay, because it looks almost like automotive gears and moving. So I would say that Urwerk is one brand that actually really pushes boundaries far to how we all imagine watches to be, and kudos to them, really. The credit I would give is that, I think, but it takes time to really get used to how this would be like as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's just mind-blowing. I think it's does it turn into a transformer?
Dodger had a question for us. What do we think of the Breitling AB2510? It's being shown on a lot of shows. Looks like a Patek, but I think it's fat at 50 millimeters. Expensive to service. Question: movement any good? Does look good though. That's a good question, Dodger. Something that we need to peep into.
Yeah, we'll bring that up in a bit. Yeah, looks report. I'm with you. Forget Rolex. This is what tickles my fancy as well. These kind of watches are mega money, really are. Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, a pocket watch. I mean, if you're gonna buy 8 watches, I'd get a pocket watch in there, definitely. So this would be my pocket watch, an Urwerk. Can't get better. $400,000, but hey, released in 2015. This one, they call it the Zeit device. So, yeah, move on.
Just to address Lux Report's comments, forget Rolex is what tickles my fancy. Yes, Lux, I always remember you do quite like, you have actually shown previously before to me about DB Tune and so many other pieces that have very intricate, and I would use the word eccentric kind of look in terms of design. Yeah.
So, if I've got loads of money and I've got enough to buy all these watches, I'm going to be going on holiday a lot and I'm going to be traveling. So, I want a GMT watch. Now, this one is going to be my GMT watch. The Laurent Ferrier Galet Traveller. 53,700 euros. 18 karat wide gold case. 41 millimeters. 10 millimeters thick. 300 meters water resistant. This midnight blue dial, which is solid silver, available in silver and slate grey dials too. 18 karat assegai shaped hands. Date window at 3 and a dual time window at 9 o'clock. Self-winding caliber LF 230.01 with a micro rotor movement, which is 18 karat gold. And this has got, you have your home time at this 9 o'clock wheel here. So you'd have your home time there. That would be the home time you have. And when you travel, use these buttons at 10 o'clock and 8 o'clock to advance and bring back the hour hand. So you can advance the hour hand when you're traveling to the time zone that you're going to. And I saw this at a Watch Pro salon in November, last November, at the Laurent Ferrier stand. And it is absolutely gorgeous. It's a beautiful watch. Yeah, really was a gorgeous piece.
Could have fooled me, Thomas. I could when you first highlighted the word, well, your version of what you have as a world time, it could have fooled me. We've always been so. I think for a simple-minded consumer like myself, I've always felt like world time should be busy, should be full of the globe. I would like to see like more, like the Atlas landmass in the watch itself, or even like lots of numbers and digits and subdials to represent different time zones. But I think for this piece, it's really about simplicity and blending, really blending in itself. Yeah. So this piece is, I would say, how many millimeters are we looking at for this piece in terms of the diameter of the face?
41 millimeters.
41 millimeters. Okay.
But it's using that lovely micro rotor.
6%. Okay. This case back is it's a sapphire case back, yes?
Yeah.
Really dressy. I think it from afar. I think really does it. As with all the watch brands that I've previously looked at, it's really hard, to spot someone to have this, who is actually wearing a watch, and you actually think, oh, I know that's like the LF, LF's version of so-called dual. Is it the dual time? Dual time, yes.
They call it the Traveler.
The Traveler.
You got the date at 3 o'clock and the dual time or the home time at 9 o'clock.
So unless
I was just going to say, it can get a bit confusing if you don't know what the two dials are for. But once you know that this is the home time, it's less confusing.
Yeah, so I think you have to set the 9 o'clock dial, the numerical dial, to exactly your time zone, and the hands to be strictly for where you're traveling to. So I guess it's kind of like when we talk about ergonomics in watches, we would say visual ergonomics, yes? So habitually, when we look at a timepiece, I think that the advantage here is that they did retain the way that we see dates to be always at the 3 o'clock mark. Most of the time, when we look at watches, visual ergonomics, we think that date should always be at the 3 o'clock, or for most watches, 6 o'clock. So I think that with this kind of world traveler, or this, I would call it, in my way, I'll call it a dual time, since it can tell you two time zones, then it doesn't fall short instead. So the trick is, after a while, once you've purchased this piece, you're going to have that memory to say, okay, I now know what time is what time, and I'm not going to be like, oh, is it 11? Let's say 11:17. It's not 11:17 because 11 is a date. Yeah. So I think that with that, I think what the LF has done, especially for the second time, the home time zone, is that they've actually expanded a bit slightly bigger in terms of the window. So when you look at it on this man's wrist, you can tell that there's a big difference between date and your home time. The hour of the home time.
Yeah. Lovely watch.
Hello, BA. Thank you so much, as always, BA, and everyone else in the chats and who's viewing. Thank you.
Yeah, so from the Galley Traveler, that would be my travel watch. And so on to the next Grail list piece. There's so many watches you can choose in this segment, But next piece would have to be a Roger Smith. So yeah, this is a Roger Smith Series 4 triple calendar, which is a perpetual calendar, made in 2015, starting at £250,000 at least. It's a calendar moon phase, and between 2001 and 2015, Roger Smith produced 60 watches apparently in 14 years. He's a one-man operation, makes his own movements, cases, dials, hands. The only apprentice of George Daniels, who invented the coaxial escapement, which was sold to Omega. Every other watch uses the Swiss Steel escapement by many of the brands. This watch uses an updated version of the coaxial escapement that Roger Smith tweaked himself. It's got a rotating pointer-style date with a bucket-style hand that frames the date, and you can customize the gear shape finishing on the silver dial if you want to get it customized. But you're going to be waiting ages for these. The waiting lists are just phenomenal. It's 41 millimeters, 14 millimeters thick. This one's pictured in 18 karat rose gold, but I would maybe opt for the white dial, which I think is white gold or platinum. And Roger Smith doesn't create everything that goes into his watches, but does produce most things. And just a stunning watch. I mean, you've got the perpetual calendar here, and the moon phase at the bottom, and this little date wheel here. You can see it's on 22 at the moment, telling the date, which goes. The arm goes underneath the dial here, so just underneath the segment of the dial to be controlled.
It's a whole different avenue of class, I must say, Thomas. Now this is one piece. I'm noticing a trend from your well, Thomas's. I would call it Thomas's buying habits. I'm noticing a trend in what you buy already. And I would say this piece, I like it in this configuration, color configuration. Number one, I do like that there is different color, variations inside the watch face. But I think a rose gold, especially, mixed with such a complex dial with so many things happening, and I'm probably a sucker for Roman numerals, the inner Roman numerals. That Roman numerals actually, to me, really called out to me and really popped up. So to me, right, I would say this piece is really a looker. And although I do hope that the crystal on top was domed, okay, because it seems to give me the impression that the top crystal is domed, making it look like really, really exciting. I think that's really the visual attractiveness, of a piece like that. Even right now I can't really see this dome, but from this angle which is showing, Thomas, it really looks domed. And
maybe I've never seen a Roger Smith watch. I mean, I met him at Watch Pro Salon, and I asked him if he was wearing one of his watches, and he said, "Oh no, I can't make them fast enough."
So Roger Smith, is it safe for me to assume that all of this is all handmade by he and his team?
Yeah. He makes most of the parts himself, but doesn't create quite everything, but produces most things. He makes the cases, the hands, the dials, most of the movement parts as well. Yeah.
Is it safe for me to assume that this is a manual winding piece? Yeah, manual winding.
Yes.
And I would say that this power reserve would be about maybe about 50. I could be wrong. Yeah, but I would definitely like to find out the power reserve.
I couldn't tell you, to be honest with you. I don't know enough about Roger Smith watches. I've never seen one. I wanted to see one. I was hoping to see one on his wrist. That's why I asked him. But yeah, I've never seen one. I'd love to see one.
One thing I've always, in a way that I've always shy away from, Thomas, is leather straps. And this is one of the very, very few pieces that actually still I would give the chance for a leather strap, to wear a leather strap, as on a watch itself, because as with all leather straps, right, I would say that you really need the watch face really has to carry that look to be able to carry the strap, and the strap also has to carry the look for the watch. It's more like a symbiotic relationship for me. So I think that especially for such a watch looking this brilliant, Roman numerals, having the classy, and you've got that moon. Is that what you call the moon face subdial?
Moon face, yeah.
Yeah. So with that, and the Roman numerals, and the rose gold colored case, and you've got the date wheel outside, the very external part of the watch face itself, truly is a remarkable, classy piece. And leather, I would give yes for sure. Black leather, brown. Brown with rose gold is okay, but I think black sticks out better, especially for rose gold. Yeah.
Well, there was another. As I said, I may. I say I may choose. What am I talking about? I may choose. There's no chance I'm going to be able to get one, but
Don't worry, Thomas. This is the Grail in this world. You will get it.
this one,
Yeah.
second from right. Second from right is the one I'm talking about. The Series 4. It's quite small, but you can see it's not rose gold. This one. This is white gold, and this is probably the one I'd go for. Here, second from right. I can't make it any bigger. But
It's okay. Yeah.
But that would probably be the dial configuration I'd go for, unless I went for a rose gold watch. I'd, just to mix it up and get a nice rose gold real dress piece. But I like this. I think this is more legible. This one with the white gold dial and the black hands.
I tell you, among these series, you like the Series 4. I like the Series 4 to a certain degree, but the 1 and the 3 really do catch my eye.
Yeah.
The 1 and the 3 really do catch my eye because there's
one is
color.
pure simplicity, class, just class, pure class. The Series 1. Yeah.
So educate me on this one, Thomas. When they did launch this, I'm assuming the Series 1 came out first in a sequence of, if we talk about it in chronological sequence, the Series 1 came out before the other series, yes?
Yeah, that would have been his first watch, yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. And then you get to the Series 5, which is skeletonized parts, skeletonized movement. Well, skeletonized dial, should I say.
Skeleton is almost like a skeleton watch already, through and through.
Yeah, not quite, not totally skeletonized, but a skeletonized dial that you can see. So he's taken away the actual dial itself, so you can see the inner workings. But I'm not so much a skeleton fan myself. So yeah, I'd have to have a Roger Smith in there if I had the money at my disposal. Yeah. Hi, well, how do you Flippin' Zippo? Good to see you in chat there.
Hello, Flippin' Zippo. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Hey, Flippin'.
So my last pick. We'll go to my last pick. And this is going to be, I started with Breguet and I finished with the man who taught Breguet, his tutor and mentor, Ferdinand Boutou. I was going to go for a Roman Gautier, Logical 1.
Oh, I love those watches.
But decided against the Logical 1. And went with the Ferdinand Boutou FB chronometer, Ferdinand Boutou FB 1.1. There we go. Made in 50 pieces.
Yeah.
This is the chronometer Ferdinand Boutou FB 1.1. It's the first model in the collection. Its vertical satin brushed ruthenium dial is framed by an octagonal white gold case with titanium lugs. Its sides feature 4 watertight portholes, revealing, you see here, it's got the portholes here, which reveal the intricate workings of the caliber FB-T.FC with its pillar-type architecture. The transparent sapphire case back provides a chance to admire the 1,120 parts with fusing chain transmission. 4 patent applications have been filed for certain mechanisms of this cost-certified movement. Now, both contemporary and technical, this exceptional model reinterprets the mechanical prowess and extreme precision of the marine chronometers that Ferdinand Berthoud produced in the 18th century for the French king, that was Louis XV, and Navy. And intense updating has been carried out in order to interpret these features in a resolutely contemporary spirit. That was off their website. So, yeah, I mean, you look at this, look at the back of that. It's just an astonishing watch. I mean, it's made in a cylindrical movement slipped into this case, which was designed as they put it into a square case and then chopped off the corners to make these portholes so you could see the movement. And you can see the fusing chain through one hole. You can see a different part of the movement through another hole, and the same on all corners. And it's using this. If you just look at that movement, that pillar-style movement,
that is a lot. It looks, you know what it looks like. It looks like a massive amount of. Have you ever looked at a circus from the top? I'm not saying this as a joke. I'm saying this is how it looks. It's so many things happening.
I know. It's just fascinating.
Was
It's
this
just mind-blowing.
Was this a GPHG watch maybe last year, Thomas?
No, it wasn't last year. It won the GPHG when it was
maybe a couple of years ago.
Oh, was it 20? I got it mixed up. Might have been 2015, I think.
Okay.
Might have been 2015, but it was their first watch, and it won the GPHG grand prize for the best watch of the show. Yeah, it won the. It's 212,000 Swiss francs. So it's a banger on the wallet. But if you just look at that movement, I mean, how can you not love that? I mean, just look at that. Wow.
The complication on this is really mind-blowing. I mean, on the surface, sometimes we assume that the face is already looking a bit not so busy. It's in between busy, not too busy. But with this, when they strip out the whole watch face and you look at it, oh my goodness, I can't believe that there's so much happening for this piece. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which the only concerning thing it would be like the service cost of this.
Oh,
Servicing cost of this would be rather hurtful on the wallets.
Yeah. Astronomical. Yeah. Yeah, so here 2016 won the Aiguille d'Or Best in Show prize at the Grand Prix d'Horologie de Geneva, GPHD, for its inventiveness and modernity and technical highlight of the international watchmaking calendar. Yeah, so 2016 he won the Aiguille d'Or, the best prize. But it's just amazing if you look at it. So it's telling the time just at the top, and it's got the fusing chain there, and the tourbillon to one side, and it's got everything. It's just
Thomas. Just a quick question. At 9 o'clock, you've got the hot and the bass. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Is that the power reserve?
I believe that's the power reserve. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, this is actually, I do like watches that look very unusual, but this piece is really out of this world. I think when you first showed me this piece, I was like, okay, I think the potholes look really nice because I have not actually, truthfully, I haven't seen any watches that actually make windows. Let me call it windows on the side of the watch case that you can actually see from the side. Yeah. So I mean, if you really feature this timepiece and you want to make it shine, you put LED lights on the sides of the potholes on opposite sides. You imagine the amount of light that would really generate from each side of the potholes, and then showcase that movement. This FB would really blow minds. Yeah. I've always been a lover of like open heart, in a way, open heart pieces. So this one I could say, to me, is like it's got two open hearts. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's got those portholes at the side to look in and see the tourbillon and the fusing chain at one side and all the different things that are going on and the different layers of that movement. But that's what you're buying it for. That movement. It's just stunning.
How much did you say this piece was again?
212,000 Swiss francs, or it was when it was released in 2016.
Okay.
But they only made 50 pieces, so it'll be sold out by now. But,
For sure.
Yeah. But,
brilliant pick for this one, really. Yeah, this in the interior of the watch face, is it stainless steel? Because it has got this very brushed metal look.
brushed ruthenium. It's called, well, I'm not
brush.
Sure.
Okay.
Ruthenium, yeah.
Brushed ruthenium. Okay. Good.
Yeah, but I mean, Ferdinand Berthoud, born in Switzerland in 1727, went to Paris at 18, wanted to become a master clockmaker, and wanted being trained, became a master clockmaker at 26, being appointed by King Louis XV Council, made 40 marine chronometers for the French Navy and clocks for the King, was mentor to Abraham Louis Breguet, and in 2006, Chopard bought the Ferdinand Berthoud brand, and they want to keep his workmanship going within the company, so they're passionate to keep the brand alive as it was. But this is a new design. This isn't anything. I mean, he wasn't making wristwatches. He's making marine chronometers. So they're trying to, as you see from the marine chronometer in the top picture on the left, they're trying to make it, give it that sort of feeling of a marine chronometer, which is quite nice, I think. It's going back to the heritage of watches and clockmaking. That's what clocks were made for, to navigate our ways across the seas, just fascinating stuff. So that's my picks. Yeah.
Top 10, eh? This is your 10th piece, is it?
Yeah, really cool piece.
Eighth piece. This is my last piece, my 8th piece. So
very left of field, very unique pieces. Really cool. What's the total damage bill?
I'm told that probably about 5 million or something.
5 million. Wow. You really spare no expense, huh, Thomas? Spare no expense.
Yeah.
So is it Jonga's turn?
Yeah,
Jonga.
Yeah.
Hi, Jonathan. How you doing?
Hey, guys.
Welcome.
Hello.
Hi, how are we doing?
G'day.
Yeah, go on.
One second. Doing very good, thank you. I hope that you're okay, everyone. I see Thomas is breaking the bank.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Right. Strap yourselves in for this one, guys. Let's just share the screen. Can you see that okay?
Ah. Is that a James Bond I see?
It's the very watch that got me into my love of watches, obsession with watches, very much tied in with, you know, seeing James Bond as a very, you know, very young boy, and just being completely obsessed with what the character was wearing, and the famous 538 plexiglass considered the original James Bond watch, made its appearance in Dr. No, and Russia with Love, and Goldfinger, the three of the Bond films, 37 mil, introduced in 1995. I mean, this is, for me, just the epitome of the dive watch from Rolex. I absolutely, you know, love this piece. Got a
It's
couple
got a
of
vintage feel to it, Jonga. And just to, sorry to interrupt you, just to tell you my observation. You know, when we look at the crown grips of it, you know, back then I think vintage watches, the crown grips are much more bigger, easier to grip than what we see watches now.
This particular watch, the 6538, is called the Big Crown because it has a big crown. There were later versions of this watch also without crown guards, and those had smaller crowns. So one characteristics of this particular watch, 6538, is the big crown, because usually it's nicknamed Big Crown.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is 30 Danny's Grail watch as well. We know that this is his favorite watch. Yeah, he says best watch in the world. Fact.
Yeah.
Tropical Dial says 30 Danny. Yeah, Tropical Dial.
Uncle Jonga, do you know the speculations how this watch ended up on Sean Connery's wrist in Dr. No?
No, I don't.
So,
didn't Cubby Broccoli give it to him?
That is one version that Cubby Broccoli had it himself on the wrist and just handed it over to Sean Connery. By the way, in Dr. No, it was on a leather strap. I think a brown or black crocodile alligator strap. Later on, we see the watch on an understrap, NATO strap. Another legend says that one of the cameramen had this watch, and it was used. Dr. No had a high budget, but they certainly didn't have a budget for watches. And we all know that Rolex does not pay or did not pay to be featured in movies, unlike other brands like Panerai or other brands who paid.
Do we know whatever happened to the original?
I would love to know. I have indirect contacts to the Eon archive, and as far as I know, none of those watches is in the archive. When I started collecting, I'm a big James Bond fan, and when I started collecting Bond, I've been offered the watch from On Her Majesty's Secret Service, which is a Daytona, and it even has the purchase receipt. And that watch was offered 30 years ago for around 50,000 Deutschmarks, which was a lot of money, but I couldn't buy it. Didn't have the money back then. And I think a couple of years ago it has been auctioned off. I think 350 or something like
Wow.
that. Yes.
The one that George Lazenby wore.
Yes, the one that George Lazenby wore. My favorite Bond movie on Her Majesty's Secret Service,
Sure.
which is also quoted in the recent one, No Time to Die.
Yes. Yes, I mean, big bucks for this kind of piece. I mean, one website's got it between the estimate between 180 and $280,000.
Yeah.
And this one I found on Chrono, 116. But it's, where do you start with something like this?
I'm not sure if you want to move on because I would like to discuss those tropical dials with you guys, and I think Thomas
Sure.
has also an opinion about those.
Sure. So that's pretty much the first pick in a nutshell. My ultimate, vintage watch based on my love for the James Bond and the film. My next one, sort of quite controversial, but you'll probably begin to understand why. Is all to do with this legend. It's the Paul Newman.
Ah.
Of course, I'm talking about this watch here, and in particular, this image. When I saw this image, this is a bit like when Steve McQueen had his racing suit on, and he was wearing
Monaco.
an image like this. There's tremendous thing for power around the brand. You see something like that, and you've got one of the greatest actors of all time, and an icon, a true icon in Paul Newman. You see him wearing this, and you think, what is that? I want to find out more about it. So it's of no coincidence, obviously, that this sold for what it did in this auction. But do you know what? I'm pretty much split, and there's Paul's daughter there. But I'm pretty much split. And just looking at this, I would take either dial, to be honest. To have a 6239 Paul Newman, I'd just be, I mean, that is collector's heaven. JCB, I know you're not the biggest fan of the Paul Newman when you sort of went through your picks a few weeks ago, but I just love the Daytona, man. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm still a fan of it. I think it's still cool, and I think the Paul Newman comes in a few different configurations as well. You can get a Bakelite bezel, you get the JPS versions with the gold. So the Newman is a still cool watch. I mean, I wouldn't say I don't like it. I just something about the the 6263, which I sort of like a little bit better, I think. But no, you can't take anything away from the Newman. I mean, it is what it is. It's a cool piece, man. There's no doubt.
It's got its certified place in history, and I mean it's big bucks. That's what you're looking at. That's the sort of price that you're going to pay. Again, this leads me into the more modern pieces, but this brings us right up to date with a Grail that is on my list. Whether I ever get the call for it is another thing, but it's that.
Ah, the John Mayer.
The infamous John Mayer. And I have
this is
tried
a killer piece, man.
I have tried this watch on at my authorised dealer. I'm in love with the green sunburst dial.
Yeah.
I'm not normally a precious metal wearer, but I think the combination of these two and the complete colourway is just perfection. Personally, I think this is almost a better fit for what a true 50th anniversary piece would have been for the Daytona. I know they went with the Platinum Daytona as being that landmark piece, but I've tried the Platinum Daytona on, and the only thing that really impressed me with that watch is the weight. What I love about this is it's just a total package, and I think it will be a modern classic for years to come. I'm just absolutely stunning. The reality is, would I ever get a call for this? Very slim, but I love it. you know, I love this piece. Probably the Daytona is my favourite watch to wear from a comfort perspective, with the Submariner being my favourite watch to wear as a kind of daily piece. But yeah, something about this that I really like. What do you guys think?
Oh, I love it. I love this watch. Amazing watch. I've never seen one in the metal though, but just from seeing the pictures and it's fucking cracking piece, man.
Sure.
The green dial is unreal.
Far too beautiful already, I must say, Uncle Zonga. This particular piece, I would say, is, when we transition to this piece, right? You showed the previous Paul Newman piece. That was really like a classic. It's like seeing a vintage car. It's one of a kind. It's classic. It's signature. But moving forward in terms of when you say you like the date, let me just call it the Daytona series kind of watch. This particular one that you are showing on the screen right now is a different class of its own. Number one, we talk about the materials, yes? It's a different type of materials already. And the way that they choose the color for the watch face.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, you've got all the modernization in the straps and all these things, whereby the gold strap, if you look at the center links, it almost look as if it was like white, mirror white. It looks like mirror white, but actually it's full gold, So this piece is really like slamming the table with a big sledgehammer and really smashing the rest of the cups.
Sure.
And do you guys remember watching that Hodinkee video with John Mayer? I think it was Talking Watches with John Mayer, number 2. It was the second one that he did. And I remember watching that, like, the day it came out, or day or two after it came out, and then 2-3 months later, everyone just started buying up these watches. It just became the hottest watch on the planet, basically, because of the fucking John Mayer effect. Crazy, absolutely crazy.
The
that
thing
you
is,
can get one guy can come out and influence the market so much.
The thing is with this one, JCB, is that he actually picked out not just this one, but also the white gold with the blue dial. But this one is kind of considered as the John Mayer, even though he was
talking about both,
talking about both. That other one again, which I've tried on, and it's lovely. Don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful piece. My preference would be for this one, but that was equally considered by John Mayer when he kind of made that claim about where he felt these were sleeper watches.
Yeah.
So that's my third pick, and my fourth pick, and the final Rolex that I would go for, just purely on the day to day. And this is a little bit more attainable as a Grail. Fingers crossed, is what I consider to be the finest modern day steel Rolex. I think this has got elements of the present and the past. I love the nod with the bracelet. I think the colorway is fantastic. It's a perfect daily. Yes, it's a little bit more blingier for my taste on a daily than, shall we say, the previous 16710s and beyond that, when things were very much a tool watch perspective with brushed bracelets. But I think when you take into consideration of what this is and and the price point, it could very much be someone's one and done.
Yep.
Uncle Jonga, did you deliberately choose or opt for the Jubilee bracelet?
Yes.
For what reason, if I may ask?
My reasons are everything that I own in Rolex is on an Oyster.
On Oyster, okay.
An Oyster, yeah. And I have tried this on at the authorised dealer on the Jubilee, and the comfort level for me personally is on another scale. I just think it works so well in this configuration with the Pepsi.
The Jubilee's just the nicest as well, I think. Just looks so nice on the Jubilee. Must say hello to Pocket Watch Time. How are you doing, Pocket? Great to see you.
Hello, Pocket Watch. Welcome.
I'm not sure if
Hey, everybody.
Hello, Pocket. I'm not sure if
Pocket Watch.
M is banning me immediately for saying that. In my opinion, Rolex sports watches must be on oyster bracelets, because that is the way they have been born or introduced. And in my opinion, Jubilee is for Datejusts, but not for sports watches. I know that they are incredibly comfortable. Yeah.
Where do you stand, Jonathan, though, with the modern oysters and the fact that all of these are now got polished center links? Because again, that's another factor. That's another factor we choose in the Jubilee.
You know my nickname in the watch community, which is Dr. Dremel. People know that I like to modify things, and if I had a modern Rolex with an oyster bracelet with polished center links, that wouldn't last long.
Yeah. Are the polished center links here to stay for Rolex, do you think, or do you think we'll ever go back to the brush?
As things are now, I think this has been beaten to death, but people complain that in the 2000s, Rolex went from tool watches to luxury watches.
Yeah.
And one element of that change was that they introduced those polished center links on oysters. I think the first one that had it was the GMT Master with a ceramic bezel, if I remember correctly. Rolex does not make tool watches in the true sense. They are still tool watches, don't get me wrong, but the direction the company goes is luxury. And as things are going, Rolex will move even more upwards towards luxury. So I have no high hopes that they will go back to totally brushed oyster bracelets.
And also, I love the fact that Magnum wore this from season 4 onwards. It was on the oyster bracelet. We wore a Pepsi in Magnum DI. So again, another icon, of the collection.
Absolute icon, yes. Mm-hmm.
So to see you onto the fifth pick, and a bit of a change for me, but this is my favourite. This is my favourite Omega. It's Snoopy. It's the Unobtainium. Thoughts, gentlemen? What do you think of this piece?
I didn't like it as much because it came out at the same time as the Ed White, and I much prefer the Ed White. But I really like the animated case back. I really like it. The fact that it takes 14 seconds for Snoopy to fly. You only see him for 14 seconds, which is how long the astronauts took to burn, do their burn when they're flying. They only burned the fuel for 14 seconds so that they could get back to Earth. Is brilliant. I think that they've really done that really well. Yeah, you see it on the case back there. And I've really come around to liking this watch now. I think it's a really nice piece. It's a lovely piece.
I love the look of the watch. I think it is very distinctive. I love the colorway of it. How it's all done and presented. I think it is a beautiful piece. I love that story, in there that in 1970 Omega, received the coveted Silver Snoopy Award from NASA for the recognition of Omega's contribution to space exploration, but also vitally important was the support that they offered, during the rescue of Apollo 13. So I think with all of that tie-in, where Omega are really leaning on this, I think, get this piece, you've got a piece of history here.
What do you think to this one, Pocket? Have you any opinions on the Snoopy?
Yeah. Good morning, guys. If I sound drowsy, I probably am. I just woke up and getting ready for work, and I hate that I always miss your show. So I sort of saw it, so I was like, hey, I can pop on for a little bit.
Yeah, good to see you.
But two points. One, I wanted to argue with Jonathan for a quick second and say I actually love the GMT on Jubilee. So for me, I just think it differentiates the GMT, because from 10 yards away, you can't tell a Submariner from a GMT. And I think if you wear your GMT on a Jubilee, it pops and you just can tell the difference. As I said, I like both bracelets, but I just think that, to me, it just makes two watches that look almost identical, a little less identical.
Pocket, with all respect, you know that that in the 80s or 90s you could order your Submariner also with a Jubilee bracelet.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
but so that's just that's what I jumped in, so I wanted to say a quick something on that. Back to the Snoopy. I'm not a huge chronograph fan. I just it's not a complication I use, so usually I just sort of pass over them. But it takes a lot for me to sort of catch a chronograph that I go, ooh, I like it. And this one did it. As I said, the colorway is beautiful, and I just think that animation on the back is just so cool. So I'm actually a fan, and I'm not usually a fan, particularly of a Speedmaster.
Yeah, me neither. I'm not a Speedmaster fan. I much prefer the El Primero, to be honest with you, than the Speedmasters. But this one, I'm like you. This one actually brought me into, apart from the Ed White, this one actually drew me to two Speedmasters, and I think it's the best Snoopy one that they've done. To be honest with you, I did think that the second version was the best, the all white one.
So are these limited run?
I'm not too
I don't
sure.
believe. Yeah, I don't.
No,
believe
they're not
limited.
unlimited.
Limited production. So they promise that they won't make a ton of them, but there's definitely no actual number.
I can't even get registered for one of these at my authorization, but they said no. I say on the grey market in the UK, I think I've seen one at BQ for about £25,000.
I'm not saying that in a provocative way. I see so many serious watch guys who say, I love the watches to the core, no gimmicks, no bullshit, only watches and horology and history. And then I see those guys going weak, including myself, just by that little gimmick, which is absolutely awesome and came totally out of the blue for me. I had no idea that Omega would come up with something. So we all pretend to be serious watch collectors, and we're above this kind of toyish thing. And then Omega comes up with something like that, and it breaks our hearts in a positive way.
I can't argue with that.
the positive aspect of it, I can say, as a die-hard Omega fan, I would stick my hand into the fire to save the brand if I must. But in terms of like Speedmasters, we all can like the classic Speedmasters. But the one thing that we can all acknowledge is that Omega always makes many versions of all the Speedmasters. So I happen to be a Snoopy fan, but when I think about like how to get to a Snoopy Speedmaster, that's a real challenging bit there already. In its own self is challenging, but for a moment, Thomas, when you were Junga, when you were browsing, the watch was actually matched with a white colored. Now I saw this, matched the white colored NATO strap. Now that at that point it was brilliant in my eyes when it was in its classic way of like the so-called, is these rubber straps? Are these rubber straps? I think they are rubber straps. Okay,
I'm not
while it was,
sure.
because while it's in this
Tablecloth.
state, while it's in this state, it looks a bit like meh. But when
Nylon fabric, that is.
Nylon fabric, okay. So I actually liked it in the NATO. When it went into the white and blue NATO with the center racing stripe, this whole watch looked totally different, and it really was worth its while. You know, I guess because you really have to like Speedmasters in general and be willing to expend the money. And not to forget, I think the redeeming grace of this piece is the back cover of, you know, the rocket that's moving. Instead of you see movement, you see a rocket moving. So it's actually something different. But this is a very, how should I say, it's an acquired taste piece. Yes.
I mean, price point, if you're fortunate enough to get this at retail, I mean, it's a hell of a buy for the money.
The grey market you would find in Asia and Singapore, you might be able to find one of these. But the problem with these is that if anybody wants to sell the Snoopies, they really push up and muck up the price. In the grey market price, they really push it up high, because they know that people who are going to be buying these are die-hard fans and collectors. So that is really the negative aspect of it.
Additionally, Snoopy is very popular in Singapore and Hong Kong. So the craziness for Snoopy in those cities is on a totally different level than for us normal mortals.
Yes, because I would say that, you know, Jonathan, the main key thing is that for owners who own like Speedmasters, the essence of it here is that, oh, hold on, someone's typing. Oh, okay. The essence of it is that when people buy Speedmasters here, and if they want to collect it, we use the word exquisite. You know, the fact that owning a different Speedmaster and you compare it to another person who's a Speedmaster collector, and you can actually say, hey, I've got the one with the man on the moon, I've got the anniversary one. Is it with the? It looks like a little saint, like a pewter plaque in it, and the other one with the Snoopy. You've got all these versions. So collector to collector, it's going to be a different level of like, oh, you know, I've owned these, you don't have those. So there is this kind of, I would say, like buyer habitual instinct that they have to get the ones that other people don't have, you know. Yeah.
Well, that's my fifth pick, and then step it up a little bit more on the higher horology side, straight into this.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've tried this one on the ultra thin perpetual calendar.
The Vacheron perpetual calendar, the ultra thin.
Beautiful.
41.5 mil white gold perfection. I mean,
yeah, I had the skeleton version of this one on my list. Love this piece.
Yeah.
You can get three options as well, whether you want it on the 18K white gold bracelet, or you can have the. I quite like this configuration here
with the rubber. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean that's a serious piece. £96,500.
Whew.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Uncle Dronga, I'm curious why you chose the overseas. I'm pretty sure you know that the Royal Oak perpetual calendar ultra slim, which would be my personal preference, because in my opinion the dial is a little bit more simplified, I would say.
Yeah, I think for me it's about the fit and the finish. I have tried the normal, the regular overseas on. I just like the way that it kind of sort of went round my wrist. And I just love the look. I just love the look of it. There's nothing on there that I would want to change.
This one looks better than the AP in my opinion as well. The AP's got like an industrial sort of look about it, I think. This one just looks fantastic. Cracker.
Yeah, really nice. I haven't seen the white gold one, but I've tried the yellow gold one on, or the rose gold. Can't remember. But yeah, amazing watch.
Yeah, serious piece there. And then yeah, down to the final two, Jen. So starting to go with the discontinued stuff now, and why not stick a Nautilus in there and go for a 5990 in the sort of rhodium dial?
Ooh.
So yeah, I had to do this for Jamie's sake as well, because Patek is king, of course. But I do like the Nautilus, but I just thought let's up the ante a little bit. I mean, I think it was released in 2014, but you think of what you've got on here. You've got travel time, so you've got two different time zones on there with 60-minute chronograph, the date indicator. There's going to be three in one function, and then you get the lovely rhodium sort of monochromatic look that I would say goes with everything.
I'm not a fan of the Nautilus myself. I've never really been a fan of it.
It's an acquired taste, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm more Royal Oak fan than a Nautilus fan.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted something in there, particularly on the the sort of sports line, the higher horology side, but
Yeah.
that would be more fitting to my taste, because I'm not really a dress watch person.
Sure. Yeah.
But I wanted something that was going to ooze the kind of ultimate class, and this really kind of sort of sang to me.
Sure.
But yeah,
like you say, it's a sport. It's a more sporty watch. Like you say,
yeah.
that fits you absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's sort of my kind of style. But then saying that, as my final piece, I feel like I've pulled a little bit of an ace out of the pack, and I've gone with this.
Oh, Lange one.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
This is the 191028, limited production of 1 year in 2017 in the 18 karat white gold, 38.5mm manual wind. It was a retail of 29,800 British pounds. I mean, for me, that is a technical masterpiece, but also I love the kind of outlay of the dial.
Yeah.
So you hit me with the Lange and Söhne, as many of you know. There is a fantastic web page called Langepedia, which is hosted by a friend of mine, and he goes into detail. There's also a fantastic article on Hodinkey about what went into the thought process for the Lange one. It looks simple, but every little detail is so much thought after. They were well aware that they're gonna create a future classic, which they certainly did, because that watch was in the first collection of Lange in 1994, as far as I know. Still is. It is such an unusual watch, very much liked, in my opinion, absolutely perfect. And just recently, in the last couple of years, we discovered the beauty of the blue dials, because they were not really desirable until I think some auctions came up with some beautiful pictures. And at the moment, it's impossible to get a blue dialed Lange one. Good luck with trying to find one.
Yeah, it's another one of these pieces that I thought, I'm not a dress watch. I'm not a dress. Dress watches aren't in my mantra, but I saw this and I thought, yeah, that's absolutely stunning.
Because it's not a typical sort of looking dress watch. It's so, it's not just like a three-hander, like a Calatrava or something. There's a lot going on in the dial. It's very interesting. It's you know, it's not a boring watch, which most people tend to think of with dress watches, just like a
Definitely not.
three-hander or something. This watch has so much character.
Yeah.
It's just a beautiful, beautiful watch.
I'm not sure if you
Beautiful.
discussed the genius of the power reserve, because the power reserve display is not linear. So this watch has a double barrel. I think the power reserve is 3 days or something like that. It doesn't matter. The problem with all those watches is that it's difficult to regulate watches with a long power reserve. So what the constructors of that particular movement did was to make the power reserve to influence the owner to keep the watch more or less always fully wound. So it only takes 1.5 days that the power reserve hits the middle, and that brings the owner to the need to wind it up, because if it's going below half, then you feel the urge to wind it up. So that call comes prematurely, but Lange wanted it that way.
What's your opinion on dress watches and the Lange one pocket? Do you like? Are you a fan?
Oh, complicated question as always. The funny thing, actually, what Jonathan just mentioned was when he was talking about the proportions. I just made a video that dropped this morning that's about the mathematics of watches, and it talks about the golden ratio and pi, and of course brings up the Lange. And I kind of did a little homework on it just recently because of that. And I like an asymmetrical dial, and I just think it's pleasing to the eye. And I love the big date. So everything about the Lange one I do love. But to answer the question, I don't really like dress watches, and they just don't really fit in my world. Even though I kind of just bought a dress watch, so I'm a little bit of a hypocrite there. But I'm going to sort of see how it works. But I can't do leather straps, so I just bought a watch on a leather strap, and the first thing I'm going to do is find a replacement for the leather, because I can't wear that in my daily. And I'm not fancy enough that I go places where I would wear it. I'm just a hands-on kind of person. So I need a substantial watch, and fragility is not a fan. But yeah. I love the Lange. I think it's a gorgeous watch. I love everything about it. I just wish they made it in a bracelet version, or just made it a little bit more rugged. And definitely I would think about getting one.
I think in the early day they had a metal bracelet version, even of the Lange one, as far as I remember.
Wow.
But that was not really a success. And once again, I totally disagree with you about Lange. In my opinion, they must be dress watches. That this concept doesn't work visually, in my opinion, the Odysseus is an example.
I was going to say, you're a fan of the Odysseus, Jonathan, or not?
So I'm a fan of everything Lange. So even the Odysseus, but I think the Odysseus is not design-wise their brightest hour. I'm on the record of saying, get rid of the metal bracelet on the Odysseus and just put it on the black rubber strap, and it looks absolutely fantastic.
It does look better on the rubber.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that too. Yeah.
And I'm not talking about the stock bracelet that comes with the white gold. In the early days, you could remove the metal bracelets from the steel ones, and there were some guys on the Rolex forum that equipped the Odysseus with dark rubber stuffs, and that was fantastic.
I'd just like to say congratulations to BA. Looks like he's got himself a green Seamaster.
A Swamp Master.
Yeah, nice.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, mate.
How is the pricing for the green Seamaster? I think I discussed with Perth Luxury this watch when it was over 50,000 Australian. I think the prices went down a little bit for those on the second-hand market as well.
I'm
I
not
think,
too sure.
I think off the top of my head, on the bracelet, 4,804 retail.
Yeah, but that is retail. I'm talking about grey market prices.
Oh,
because
grey market.
they went ballistic when it was introduced.
I just wanted to show off something to Pocket Watch Time. This is my first pocket watch that I just got last week. I'll show you.
Oh, okay, Omega. I was like, I can't make it out. Oh, wow, you've got an Eastern Arabic dial on a. I
Cool.
don't know if I've ever really seen an Omega with an Eastern Arabic.
Very vintage, I must say, Thomas. Very vintage. Hard to find these pieces.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, it's a Ottoman dial.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Is that a steel case?
for that. I think so. I think bits of it are silver. Some of the movement's silver. It uses the Omega movement apparently from 1895,
Mm-hmm.
which Omega named themselves after. So,
Very pretty.
yeah, it's quite a cute little piece. I'm chuffed with my first pocket watch.
It won't be your last.
Thomas, a bit of story. How did you acquire this piece?
I saw it on eBay. I love the dial, and I've been to Turkey 15 times. So I thought Ottoman Empire, Ottoman dial. Why not get a little keepsake?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, I saw an old Rolex. I saw an old
Alex is saying,
Thomas, put it away.
Alex says it's garbage. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, Alex.
Yeah, people are either pro pocket watch or completely anti pocket watch. So there's no in between.
There's always that gray area in the risk when even watch collectors or newbie or even sometimes seasoned watch collectors will say, oh, I want to go and get a pocket watch. So previously eBay would sell a lot out of Eastern Europe and Turkey, Hong Kong not really that much, but mostly I think they come up from Turkey as well as from Eastern Europe and Romania, because there were a few vendors who were constantly producing all these marriage watches that were clearly pocket watches that were modified. Yeah, so I think previously I think we would probably cover about stuff on buying watches on eBay, especially when it comes to vintage pocket watches and vintage watches. You've got to be very, very, very careful about it. Yes. But if you guys ever do buy one and you want to pop it open, in a watchmaker and look inside and everything, and
yeah, just send it for verification to Alex. I'm pretty sure he will give you his input.
I've got to say, the last piece that you were showing, Jonga, is definitely really interesting. Yeah, but I think it's really needed time. I think I've always considered Lange pieces to be it's got to be only best pieces, So I do hope that at some point Lange really stretches out in when they go in the Odyssey direction. They are thinking about, okay, we need to expand the market, reach out to a greater bit of audience. So it is good that Lange is starting to approach that direction, but it's absolutely necessary for sure, for Lange to start moving in a direction where it catches other people. Yeah.
I think you know that those pushers to change the date, they are meant to be chronograph pushers. So I'm just waiting that Lange introduce a chronograph on the Odysseus. It just has to happen with those pushers.
Yeah, that's an
and I think it will. Yeah,
interesting point, Jonathan. Yeah.
and I think they will. Yeah.
When will that appear? The Odysseus chronograph. That'll be the
That I
next.
can't tell you, and I can't tell you if it's going to be a manual, just like the ones that they have in the collection, or if it will be a brand new automatic chronograph, which would be something that would be more fitting to the Odysseus, because I can't imagine the sports watch with a manual chronograph movement. In all honesty.
Well, a lot of chronographs are manual, aren't they? Speedmasters and El Primeros and different.
Well, El Primero is an automatic.
El Primero's automatic. Sorry, yeah, I'm wrong there.
I think the manual chronographs are just the previous step in the evolution, and that is why the Speedmaster is still manual, or some fancy chronographs. In my opinion, a modern sports watch must be automatic. Just imagine a Royal Oak offshore chronograph with a manual movement.
Was someone asking a question about how was the green colored Seamasters doing on the grey market?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so far from observations wise in Asia, the green colored Seamaster hasn't really catch on, because that people always do consider that when Omega came out with the green colored Seamaster, they felt that it was more towards more of like trying to go head to toe with the green color Hulk. So obviously people who would want to buy a Seamaster that's a green color, they would be people who actually collect the Seamaster and would like to have one piece in possession to say that, oh, they have a green color Seamaster. Otherwise, there is not much movement in terms of the green color Seamaster being sold. Now, of course, in terms of my very brief time of research into the grey markets, only so far there's only been one green colored Seamaster that's actually popped up in the grey market, which is from Chrono 24. And based on the pricing, original pricing on the market is 7,900 Singapore dollars. And now whoever that person has posted up is pricing it at 8,494. So obviously, I think, basically he's just trying to make a mint of the mark. So yeah, but really, I think even as an Omega fan myself, the green color Seamaster didn't really catch on.
Really,
I've always been looking at it in like blue, silver, these color configurations. Suddenly you have something green. So if you're going to be charging something at 7,900, I might go for another one. With the chronograph pushers and the sub dials, and just about $1,000 more, and I think I get more bang for the buck. And yeah, I think it's more of like a preference thing.
Yeah, interesting what BA says. He says he had the Hulk but didn't get on with it, and he liked the Seamaster a lot more. Yeah.
Yes, good. Actually, BA raised a very good question, and the thing is, people who actually bought the Hulk in Singapore, they actually do prefer having the Hulk instead of buying the Omega Seamaster. Now, of course, if they want to say I have one of a kind to compare, for sure, go right ahead. But in terms of the Omega diehard fans, the painful aspect is that they often feel that it's trying to compete together with the reality is that it's trying to compete together with the Hulk. But in terms of the color wise, it's yes, BA says it's a better green. It's somewhat on the lines of where it's more like, I wouldn't say olive green, but a bit darker green. So yeah, it's actually if you look at it very carefully in real life, it's actually more of a darker shade of green than the Hulk, which is a bit more of a lighter green. When I say lighter green, it's not like very, very light. It's kind of like a tad of like water into a paint, and it just lightens it about one level of lightness and color. Yeah,
it'd be good to BA sometime, mate, when you're free. It'd be good to see it, mate, from your perspective. Well done, congratulations on getting it.
Yeah, congratulations, my friend.
I have a question to BA. I haven't seen this watch in real life, but I would assume that this tone of green is so difficult to capture on a photograph that it will be much more catching and touching in real life than on any picture that we've seen so far. BA, could you agree with that, or would you say the pictures that we've seen are accurate?
Five minutes.
5 minutes.
Okay, so Dodger, I caught on your question. So basically, in the early part of the show, Dodger was asking a question about a Breitling. Is it AB2510? I've caught it here. So a question to everyone. What do you think of the Breitling AB2510? It's being shown on a lot of shows. Looks like a Patek, but I think it's fat at 50 millimeters. Is it expensive to service? Is the movement any good? And does it look good overall?
JCB, can you call that up? Or
Yeah,
John?
no,
John?
give me a sec. Let's see if we can find that.
You're Mr. Breitling. Salmon Dial, Dodger says.
Maybe.
AB2510.
So I might have it.
This
so,
is the Torah. Yeah, okay. This is the Torah. Just let me get this one up.
So yes, thanks, Dodger. So this is the Salmon Dial phonograph, I think. Yes. So while JCB is doing that, I'll just help out a bit. So this one's a Salmon Dial. It's got 3 dials inside, and it's the Premier B25 Datora 42.
Yeah.
3 dials inside.
Well, it is.
I've tried it on. It is very thick, to be honest. I think it's probably too thick for me. Yeah, I've tried it on. It is very thick. Someone got a window open, perhaps.
Try it now.
Yep, that's better, I think. Yeah, look, it's for me the only issue was the thickness, to be honest.
The question about servicing, as far as I can see, this is 7750 base movement with a full calendar module on top. So, of course, your normal watchmaker, street watchmaker, may not be able to service it, but in my opinion, it's not really rocket science to service those full calendar modules. I think the module is from Dubois de Bras, assumedly. So it's going to be a little bit more expensive than a normal chronograph, but it's nothing totally impossible. Hey, Dodger.
Hey, I've been told that I can come on for a bit and just ask this question, you see. So
welcome, Dodger.
And just, keep a low profile. Yeah, my question is, that watch has a lot of functionality. It's got the day, the date, the month. It's got a moon phase. And I think, you could get that for about $7,000. And I'm thinking, we're looking at these like hype watches. And I'm thinking, well, I think that, although the pictures, that's better. Yeah, bring it up big. I mean, that looks like a lot of watch that could challenge these big hypey Grail, the really expensive Grail watches. I think it's quite a nice watch. And
definitely, Doctor. Definitely.
Its functionality, and I think you can get it for about $7,000 second hand. I think it's value for money, and I'm seriously thinking, well, would I buy one of those?
So it's a chronograph with a calendar and a moon phase.
Yeah, a day, month.
Lovely.
Yeah, and also the other thing is, because I know Alex said something about the case, is the screw, the crown where you screw it in, it's actually welded to the case. The screw-in bit, the stem.
That is a problem with all modern Breitling.
This isn't a screw-in crown. It's just a pull. It's only 100 meter, so it's just basically rain resistant. But I thought, that's Patek-esque, but not Patek money.
Yeah, it's nice.
I'm thinking,
I like the look of it. I like the look of it, Dodger. It's very nice.
Is it something you guys would consider buying? I mean, or is it like, well, you should get the Patek?
Maybe get it used. You'd get it a lot cheaper.
Yeah. It's 10 or 11 new. I think it's about 7. You can get about 7 second-hand.
Yeah, get it used. It's a great looking watch. I love the
so instead of reverso. So I was thinking about reverso, but this instead
Dr. As we have been seeing you yesterday licking some iPhone screens and walking around with a cane, my question is, would you be able to read this this watch and all the calendar functions?
I've got a loop.
Are you carrying the loop always with you when you're wearing the watch?
Yeah, I always got the loop. It's never far away from me. In fact, I got my special disabled one. It's like it does this. It's got light. See, it's got its own light.
You better get a Breitling loop if you buy this watch.
Yeah. No, but seriously, I think it's for the money, you know, and what it does.
Good news for you, Dodger. Good news. Okay. Based on my very brief research, the grey market, okay, just doing a quick one, off Chrono 24 is flooded with the salmon D25 Datura 42, which you're going to get, I think you're going to be lost. So the average pricing for the Datura 42, I call it Datura because it sounds so cool, it's about 9,600, is this in Singapore dollars? Is it $9,000? Yeah. About $9,000 range. Yeah. $9,000 range. So you're definitely going to be saving money getting it off a grey market, because it seems like a lot of people are really flipping the Datura 42 itself. Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, BA.
Welcome,
BA. I'll disappear now. Thank you. Bye-bye.
I'm just trying to get some decent natural light for you. Let's have a look. See if you can make the colour out.
Here we go.
Can you make the colour out?
Yes.
Not really.
If you turn it the other way around, so the light's coming. Can you take the camera? That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that way.
You got it.
That way. You got it.
It's pretty dark, eh?
Yeah, it's like a forest. It's like a forest green.
Right.
Yeah, it's almost like army green.
Subtle.
Yeah, maybe.
Very subtle. Yeah. I can see the green on the bezel.
Yeah.
On the strap. Yeah. It's very dark. Yeah, it's a much darker green.
Guys, I'm going to jump off. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Yeah, great to see you, JCB.
Thank you, JCB. Always a
Likewise,
pleasure.
guys. Yeah, likewise. Talk to you.
Take care, mate.
So BA, like with the Hulk, obviously having the sunburst green, this is a much darker green, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the Hulk was it was a shop window buy. It was a bit of a on the spare of the moment. I hadn't actually seen one before. I don't know how long they'd been out. I think I got it about 8 years ago, and it never really grew on me. But as soon as I see this, I was on the phone the next morning, the day after the release, and I had to put my name down for it. But in the photos, it's a lot lighter. But in person,
it's darker.
It's fantastic. Darker. The rubber matches the dial and the bezel perfectly. Absolutely gorgeous.
Who needs the Patek grenade, eh?
Sorry? Yeah. Yeah, no. I mean, it is a Seamaster. It's the same as all the other Seamasters, but it's green. There's no other. The colour font on the dial is all white. There's no little red bits or black bits. It's just white with the indices.
Lovely.
So it's very, very eye-catching, no matter what angle you're wearing it at. It's very legible at all angles. It's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. You have to see one in the flesh The shop lights are not very good either. When you view it actually in the shops, the lights don't do it any justice. It's only until you get it outside and look at it in natural light. It's gorgeous.
Lovely BA.
I prefer wearing it to all the other watches I've got at the moment.
I have to agree with Steve. For sure, only the sunlight you get the best viewing.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much, BA.
Sorry?
Thank you so much for sharing. Really getting it out the sunlight. That's the real thing that you really get to see. Because when I saw it in the shop itself, it's totally different.
Yeah, under the shop light. They have those spotlights directly over all the watches, and you can't make out. Some of the dials are fantastic, but the lights spoil it. You have to take it outside.
Correct.
And the lady let me take it outside to have a look. Because to be honest, when I first see it and she brought it out, I was like, oh. But when I took it out, I said, yeah, I'll take it straight away. Definitely.
Lovely.
Yeah. I don't know whether you've seen the Rolex Date Just green. Has anybody seen that?
The mint green.
The mint green, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I was a bit underwhelmed looking at that one in the shop as well. The green kind of washes out. It's not a very deep green, not like the Hulk dial. But again, I didn't take it outside to have a look, just to see how nice it was or not. Because I've got my name down for one of those, but I'm not sure about the green. It's a bit wishy-washy.
Yeah. You got a bit back. Could you mute the computer, BA? Thanks a lot.
It's BA, isn't it? Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah, that's
Much better.
Yeah. As you can see, I like green Casio.
Yeah, I just wanted to do another shout out. Could you just mute your volume? Thanks a lot, BA. I just wanted to do another shout out for the watch show that D-Time Love Show is involved with. This is World Time UK, happening September the 24th at the London Sofitel at Heathrow Terminal 5. This is going to be a great show. Over 70 brands are now confirmed for to exhibit, and it's going to be a great show. This is in conjunction, sponsored by Doxa, my main sponsors, and also the Divers Watches Facebook group. So that's the Facebook group you ought to all check out. Divers Watches Facebook group in the corner on the left there, and Local Time, which is a retailer. They're the partners. But the event at a glance, it's going to be from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Sofitel in Terminal 5 Heathrow. There's National Express Piccadilly line access, and also I imagine the Tube, the Underground. But yeah, this is the main event, World Time UK, happening September the 24th. Should be a great show. I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, shout out if you get in touch with D-Time Love Show, you go to his YouTube channel, and he's recently done a video telling you how you can get tickets. Tickets are free, but if you just email him, and he can send you a ticket, or as many tickets as you want. And yeah, looks like it's going to be a great show. So So,
before we move on,
are we anything more to go on?
yes,
Oh, Y2K.
let me do this. So we were talking about Jubilee bracelet, yeah? So let me just get the lighting on a bit. So obviously not in real life. Probably looks, all the pieces look better. But obviously for everyone to think about Jubilee or non-Jubilee bracelet. So for me, my vote is definitely for Jubilee, for sure. Yeah. I would like the Jubilee. I found that if you said this on the Sea Dweller, okay, deep sea Sea Dweller, I understand perfectly. Now, obviously for Jubilee, I find the deep sea Sea Dweller is too tough for the Jubilee. But for this, I would say, yeah, I go with the Jubilee for sure. Yeah.
Y2K, I just want to ask you a very quick question. On a sky dweller,
yes,
with the fluted bezel, what would you go for between the Oyster or the Jubilee on the sky dweller?
That's a very good question because it depends on the color of the sky dweller. I think if you had it on, that's black and gold one, is it? The two-tone sky dweller. I think if it was two-tone black and gold, I would say Jubilee, for sure. Because it's two-tone, and I think that if you can acquire a two-tone Jubilee bracelet, it would be perfect. Now, obviously, people have very varying kind of choices towards. I'm just trying to find the sky dweller here. So, but I think Jubilee is starting to have a comeback as well. But obviously, JQ said that it's probably best reserved for Oyster Perpetual. I think that a lot of flexibility goes a long way. So, why not give it a shot, really? Yeah.
Well, this is not really something really worth fighting over, because that is just a matter of taste. I've just commented that I would even prefer the day date on an Oyster bracelet. So I'm totally biased, and I'm aware that I have an outsider position here.
No.
I agree with Aussie X-Pie. It's a crime that the root beer isn't on a Jubilee. Just like the 16753. I'd love it to come back on a...
Haven't those two-tone GMTs initially been all on Jubilee bracelets? I think the old root beers, I have seldom seen them on Oyster bracelet. I always see the old ones on Jubilees.
Yeah, they do come on Oyster, but they're much nicer on Jubilees. They're classics. Yeah.
Okay, so I managed to pull up the Sky Dweller. So Uncle Jonga, you said, right? Okay, so this is what I think. If you're on this one, Jubilee for sure, obviously. But if you're on this one, these two, maybe just stick to this. But personally, I think that if you want to go one notch further, especially for this guy, definitely go Jubilee. Because we have seen Jubilee in this color configuration. So why not give it a shot? I think if you guys can imagine how it feels to have a Jubilee on this one, then just picture this with Jubilee. Yeah. Then obviously this is a different. Yeah.
I did try on the Blue Sky Dweller on Jubilee, and it was very, very flashy. It was like every time I turned the wrist, it was just lighting up. You've got that fluted bezel, and then you've got sort of polish everywhere, sort of pinging off the Jubilee. I found that a little bit too much. I think my preference would still be for an Oyster on the steel and white gold sky dwellers.
I mean, we've also got to acknowledge that you've also got in straps as well. So going a notch further is not going to be a far stretch from trying something else different. Yeah, you've got rubber here, you've got rubber there also. So how far are you going to crawl away from getting a Jubilee anyways? Yeah.
But as for the root beer thing, you never know. Rolex could end up bringing it out on Jubilee. I mean, they've done that, haven't they, with Batman?
I hope they do.
Batman. Yeah. So I wouldn't say it's out of the realms of possibility happening at some point.
So, anything else to chat about, guys? Anything else you want to?
Did we miss out any Q&A? Any questions from the chat?
Just looking.
No worries.
That's because Pocket got one.
If you say a yacht master, okay, since you're talking about Skydweller, a yacht master, I think that's the funny thing. I can agree with it on a Skydweller, but a yacht master, like, because I find the yacht master face a bit big, like larger. So I find that the Jubilee bracelet, it's kind of like fitting small rims to a very big car. If you understand the simple analogy, it's like fitting, if your car can take 20-inch, you're like fitting like 14-inch wheels. So I think that if you need to see how the watch face, the diameter, the size of it actually works, but yeah, I would say that go with the original one if you're on the Yacht Master, because the Yacht Master with the blue and the white one, I'm not getting the digits right, is quite big. So I would say Jubilee on that one is going to be a bit tricky. Yeah.
I think the Jubilee on the Skydweller, the bracelet on the Skydweller is already 22 mil at the lugs, isn't it? That's quite a big Jubilee bracelet. It's a big chunk. So with the Jubilee on the GMT, which is quite elegant for a sports watch, that's the reason it's on the GMT, to make it elegant. But on the Skydweller, it's not elegant anymore because the bracelet's far too wide at the top, at the lugs, and it tapers down to an even bigger size at the clasp. I'm not sure that the Jubilee on the Skydweller looks a bit of an overkill for it.
What do you think to the Oyster Flex on the Skydweller?
Is the Oyster Flex 22 mil also, or is it narrowed down to 21 mil?
I couldn't tell you that.
Either way, I think it's very nice.
Wouldn't it be a little bit top heavy with a Skydweller on an Oyster Flex?
I mean, you can say that about the Deep Sea and the Sea Dweller, but if you wear them correctly, if you have it at the correct tension on your wrist, I've got both. I've got a Sea Dweller and Deep Sea, and none of them move around. And I've had the Deep Sea on a rubber, and that doesn't move around also. I mean, if you have it a bit loose, or this bone here plays a bit of a part, doesn't it? And luckily enough for me, I can only have it just above the bone, so I can have it at a good tension, and none of my watches move around. So I'm quite lucky. But some people's wrists are quite flat. So if it goes down
the bone stops them.
Yeah, so if it goes over the bone, nice and flat, and goes down to the hand, then you might have a bit of, a risk of it wobbling around and cutting into your hand. But if you have it at the right tension, they shouldn't move around. You've just got to get used to that tension. Not too tight, but a nice tension, comfortable tension. And you shouldn't have a problem. But everyone's wrists are different,
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly show on the. Right. So if you look at the Yacht Master,
You just
okay, so obviously if you're thinking of getting on a Yacht Master, obviously too much, because the dial is really it's pretty brilliant, so busy, so brilliant. Yacht Master 2. Okay, so going on a Yacht Master 2 is obviously already a different class. I think some watches do well without the Oyster, and there was a joke I once thought in my head. that if, just answering Ozzy's question here, deep sea and sea dweller don't come on oyster flex. So there is a joke I would say that would happen. Imagine you go deep sea diving, and then you've got oyster. All right, you're going to imagine all the amount of gunk, seaweed, and all the nonsense that's catching onto the bracelet. It's going to be very annoying to clean. You got to use a toothbrush and scrub the hell out of that oyster bracelet. So definitely I would say like deep sea and sea dweller is purely tool watches, and it would not do well with jubilees and oyster flex. I think they really need to be on a different level. Yeah.
Right. Are we any more questions, guys?
So no questions from the audience.
I think. Did you want to put anything else you wanted to discuss, Jonathan?
No. I'm fine.
No, looks like that's it for today then. So, just like to say thank you to everyone who came on. JCB, Uncle Jonga, Jonathan, BA, Y2K, Dodger.
Pocket watch time. People in the chats.
Again,
Yeah.
Great to see everyone in the chat, and if you can give us a thumbs up and subscribe, that'd be even better.
So definitely, actually, really credits to today's key content, Thomas and Uncle Jonga, for coming up with their Grail pieces. A lot of work, a lot of effort to really drill down to only 8 pieces. 8 or 10? 10 pieces?
8.
8. So only 8 pieces with that X amount of cash. No, not X amount, unlimited cash.
Unlimited.
I think it was very difficult already. Popping the hatches of your banks already. Yeah, so really appreciate everyone who's come on board to join us as well. JCB has left Pocket Watch Time, Aussie Expat, Dodger, Chili Badger, here is this, and anybody else who missed out as well.
Yeah,
BA and JQH, thank you for coming, as always. Yeah, and Danny Boy, 30. LA Methwich.
And M.
And yes, most importantly, M. Just to answer you, will I be joined? Not really, because I'm more like dedicating my time to like just one show and not to do too many shows, obviously. But there might be an opportunity at some point if I should do like brand coverage or something. But if I'm going to do that, it's going to be a totally different approach, and I'm going to change certain things around. But we'll see how time permits as well. Yeah. Thomas, back to you.
Right.
Yeah, all I can say is, check out the World Time site. Check out D-Time Love Show for the World Time show coming up in September. And great to see you all again. And I think Aussie Expat was asking how often do we do our shows. So they're every fortnight. So you'll see us again it'll be the 14th, I guess.
And yes, if you guys have questions or you have anything that you have interest about, and you actually want the panel on the Escapement to actually cover, do drop an email to Thomas. We have an email, is it? Does the Escapement have an email? So we can, you guys can drop an email to the Escapement email, and then the panelists will look at the questions, and then we'll see how we can be able to get the best answer for you guys. All right, so Thomas is going to drop the email to you guys. Okay, so this is the email for Escapement Show, guys. So if you have any burning questions, or you are not sure about which watch you are looking to buy, or you have trouble considering, do send those questions to the escapementshow@gmail.com. And the panelists will also look through the questions, do some research, and get back to you as well. There will be many content that's going to be coming along, so we are all trying different directions, different approaches cover as much as we can. We're also going. I think one of the fun topics we're actually going to look at is also like what kind, like what's the question? Okay, I think we were looking at one question was like what you should do before you, how to prevent seller's remorse. I think that was one thing we're good to do about. But,
yeah, we're gonna hopefully get Y2K doing some topic.
I can give a reply to that question right now. Don't buy a watch.
No. JQH would be don't buy a watch, but buy a Lange, right? No. Buy a Lange. That's what he'll say. Buy a Lange.
Yeah, but if I say that, people will accuse me for being a brand ambassador for Lange and undermining the watch community with those hidden messages. So I'm careful.
Yes, but we do hope, JQH, you talk about normals, and then you can also talk about glass shoots, original, and all the other brands as well. That hail
Normas, I have so much love for the brand. Unfortunately, their lugs are so long, so you really must try them out. But Normas offers incredible value for your money. But I think Thomas wanted to close the show, so we're now using another tangent.
Yeah. Okay. Over to you, Thomas.
This says goodbye. So we'll see you next time, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, everyone.
Take care.
Take care, everyone.